Hey guys, LootWizard here, and welcome back to the channel for another video on Gems of War, and we're going to be going over some Dawnbringer teams. So it was Lofty, I think it was Lofty, left a comment on one of my videos recently asking if I could do a video on some Dawnbringer teams, and so here are those teams. I've been cooking up a few of them the last couple of days here just so that I could show off a few, and I came up with a couple of new ones that I think are kind of interesting, and I'm also showing a couple of classic ones that have been around for a long time. But for those of you that have just got Dawnbringer recently, or maybe you're someone who has Dawnbringer and you haven't used it in a long time and you just want to, have a couple of teams that maybe you could use it for. But we're going to be doing it in Explorer difficulty 8, even though these teams can work in PvP, just because I want to show off the teams and they're more consistent in Explorer. And difficulty 8 is kind of the sweet spot for average teams. What I mean by average is when you do Explorer difficulty 12, you really need kind of specific weapons and a few specific troops to handle that high level of troops. So we're just going to be doing Explore difficulty 8 because it does give us a chance at the 3 tokens. And it has, a pretty good balance, I think, between the amount of health and armor the troops have and the teams that we're using. So a little comparable to where I'm at in PvP right now. This is kind of usually where the health and armor is on some of the troops in PvP for me. So anyway, enough of explaining why I'm doing Explorer level 8. So this is the first Dawnbringer team I will be showing off, and it's a classic. I remember seeing this team used and mentioned before I even crafted Dawnbringer, and I've had Dawnbringer for, I don't know, maybe a year or longer. It's been a while. So I remember using Dawnbringer a lot when I first got it, and this was one of the teams that I used with it. The concept here is you're going to use Titan, and it does work better if you do have a Titan class up to level 70, so you can have Lightning Strike, because that's going to help with the mana generation. But the concept is Titan is going to give half mana start to all the rest of these and itself, because you should have that third trait unlocked. And so Force Troll, that's going to start with half mana. But the key here is this is going to put mana into the Troll. The Sea Troll, and the Sea Troll is going to double blue, which is going to go back to Force Troll. And in between those two filling each other up, they're going to fill up Dawnbringer and Hyndla Frostcrown. And the Frostcrown, it is important to, you can use this team without having them all traded, but it is an important factor in this team because with the final trait that it has, it will be giving 2 life and magic to all giant allies every 4 or 5 match. We're going to be getting a lot of those. So that's the kind of the key part here is we're going to be increasing the damage that Dawnbringer can do every 4 or 5 match. So let's go right here and I'll show you how it works, and then we'll move on to the next team because I have a few of them here to get through. Fun times. So right away we got a nice 5 match of red here with some blue. We're going to connect these blue and get this red, so it's going to be beautiful. We got Dawnbringer up, we got our Troll up, and we increased our magic by a little bit, and we got another 4 match there. And look, our magic just keeps going up a little bit because every time we get a 4 or 5 match, we're getting that 2 magic boost. So let's just go ahead and cast Dawnbringer. As you can see, one of the good things about Dawnbringer is it's going to give barrier to everything when you cast it. It will boost its damage a little bit by yellow allies and enemies, so that's a little factor. For every it gains an extra 2 damage every single yellow ally or enemy, which is kind of interesting. So what do we have here? So we have more blue than green, so we need to double the number of that. Hopefully we'll get a 4 match. We didn't get a 4 match, but we did get our Dawnbringer powered up. So that's basically how this team works, is you just keep using the 2 trolls as they fill each other up. And as they're doing that, you're going to fill up Dawnbringer, and you're also going to increase its magic, and you just keep doing that and casting Dawnbringer until everything, and that's that lightning strike right there. You saw everything bouncing around, so that's a beautiful thing. And we got that full, and we'll cast that and finish off the enemy. So that's a classic. It still works pretty good. And yeah, it works best with the Titan class though, because that allows all of those trolls and to start with half mana. So that's that one. Let's go on to a couple of these other ones. Sunspear class, fully traded, and this is another one here. Now this one is a little mythic heavy, whereas the other one didn't have any mythics. So there's only a legendary troop right here that's a part of this team. But this next one is pretty mythic intense here. We have Champion of Gaard at the top because it's one of the best tanks in the game. It's going to be giving all red allies 1 stat each turn. Dawnbringer has red, so it's going to be gaining 1 to its every stat. And we have Lord Ember down here to convert gems to red, and the Possessed King to give us that 2 explosion of gems every time we get a 4 or 5 match. We're going to be creating a lot of gems here, 22 gems, blue and red with this one, so we're going to get a lot of these 4 or 5 matches, and then we can even convert with this, and on top of that, we're using Sunspear, which will generate a Firestorm every single turn, so we're going to guarantee a lot of red coming down on the board for this team. Now, kind of the key with this one is to get your troops powered up, because nothing starts with half mana. So one of the things I'm going to focus in on, unless I have a 4 or 5 match here, I'm going to try to focus in on getting Lord Ember up with the purple. But of course, we may need to stop and get some much needed skull matches there. So now we have this question here of what do we transform? I don't really see too much here, so let's grab that. Now this is where the fun begins, because Champion of Gaard is going to gain armor, and he's going to create all of this red and blue mana. Look at that, beautiful. So now Dawnbringer is full, and we have plenty of red on the board, so that I could even convert a second time, hopefully, with Lord Ember. And we do here. So now I have a choice of doing purple, or I can do yellow. And let's go ahead and do yellow. So that was beautiful there. And we got Lord Ember back up. We can cast this a second time. And we could use Lord Ember again, or we could just keep using Champion of Gaard there. And Champion of Gaard is really good for just getting a lot of red on the board. Let's see, where do we have a 4 match here? I know there's got to be one. Well, there's brown right there, or we got green. We could do green. Boom. So then Dawnbringer, and as you can see, everything's almost dead already. A little skull poke, and there you go. So that right there is an option for a Sunspear Dawnbringer team. It's just a little mythic intense. If you have a Champion of Gaard, Dawnbringer, Lord Ember, but you don't have the Possessed King, you could always throw in Leprechaun maybe for a throw in Leprechaun for exploding the board. It'll start with full mana. You could do that, or you could there's like Summer's Child. This is a new troop that converts all brown gems to red. You could do something like that in there, just to give you that extra little boost. Now I have another Sunspear team, and this one gets a little bit interesting. It's not as mythic intense. There's no mythics. There's only one legendary troop, and it's from the underworld. So at the top we have Cunning, which is a guardian troop that when you have all of its traits unlocked, it'll give 4 to all skills on a Lyrasza ally. Now the Sunspear class is a Lyrasza troop type, so it will be increasing the magic as well as armor, life, and attack on Dawnbringer by 4 every single 4 match we get. Leprechaun is going to explode the board, and we have, however you say this troop's name, Lyrasza, I think, is how that's just how I'm going to say it, Lyrasza. Lyrasza is a troop that conjures a Madness Storm. It's the only troop right now that has a Madness Storm, as far as I believe, or any kind of like dual storm. So it's going to be creating a dual storm for us every single turn of purple and blue. And that's going to be where our blue is going to fill up our Dawnbringer, and the purple is going to fill up our Cunning and our Leprechaun. And then once the Leprechaun is full, we can explode the board again and repeat the process. So now the Sunspear, you might be wondering, Sunspear has a Firestorm at the start of every turn as a part of its traits. So how is that going to affect this type of team setup? Well, let's go in here and I'll show you. So here's the situation, is that if you have a troop in your team that has a storm that's going to start every turn, it overrides the class. So we will not have to deal with a firestorm at all. And we already got our first 4 match there, and that should increase all of our skills. But we're going to explode the board, and as you can see, look at all that blue and purple that came down. Everything got full. We got another 4 match right there. And look, my Dawnbringer's damage increased by quite a bit. And we can keep exploding the board with Leprechaun because it's going to get full again with the purple coming down. So we can just keep casting it, exploding Leprechaun. If we see a 4 match like that, we can get it, obviously. And we could always use the Guardian as a second source of damage. And skull damage, that's going to increase with the... because it's going to be giving 4 to all skills. So this is a really fun team. I've been playing around with it quite a bit, and I didn't think, when this troop came out in the Underworld, I didn't really think I was going to use it much, but here I am using it. So it's actually a pretty good troop in teams like this where you need both purple and mana, both purple and blue mana at the same time. So... plus, when you do cast this troop, it has a chance to damage, or it can jumble the board, it can gain an extra turn, and it can explode 7 gems. So it's somewhat of a useful troop. So I almost want to use this one again right now because it's pretty fun. Anyway, moving on to another team that I find incredibly fun. I've been using this one a lot too in PvP. Works really good. Is the Stormcaller class with Dawnbringer, Gorgotha in the top spot. We have a Guardian here, Finesse, and it's doing the same thing for us. It's going to give us that 4 to all skills, so it's going to be increasing our damage with Dawnbringer. And the bottom spot, we're using the Possessed King. Now, if you don't have the Possessed King, but you do have the rest of these troops above, you can use Moonrabbit, Leprechaun, or some troop like that'll start with full mana and convert gems into yellow or explode the board, something like that. So let's go in and use this. And of course, Stormcaller has that final trait on its class where you can create this light storm down here. Every single turn, it's going to start that light storm over. And as you'll see here really soon, it's going to be amazing, because right here we got another 4 or 5 match, and like the mana is just going to pop and go all over the place because of the storm going, and we have the Possessed King down here. Now the other awesome thing is this Guardian actually gives 6 mana to all other allies if there's a storm going, and we have the storm from the class constantly every turn, so we can go here and hit those troops, and it gave 6 mana to the rest of them. As you can see, my Dawnbringer is now up to 8. And we can use Gorgotha, explode the board again, and bam, everything is full. Almost everything. And we got plenty of 4 matches. Dawnbringer damage is up to almost 60 now. And we could almost finish this guy off. A little skull poke, and then you could use the Possessed King there, finish him off. But yeah, that's a really fun team. And like I said, if you don't have the Possessed King, it'll still work pretty good with Moonrabbit or Leprechaun. Alright, so that's that one. Now moving on to the second. And I put this one in here, I guess, with Moonrabbit. So why don't we just use this team again with Moonrabbit? Let's test it out. I probably was going to remove that one, and I forgot, just because I was going to suggest Moonrabbit. But anyway, as you can see right here, we're going to get a 4 match right from the beginning with Moonrabbit, because Moonrabbit is going to convert blue gems to yellow, and we have a 4 match right here. So that's beautiful. It's going to also bless the first ally, which is Gorgotha, so it can't be devoured And now let's just look for, yeah, I guess we could take this skull because we're going to get a brown match there. That'll get that full. Take this yellow. And since we're going to explode the board, all the green and purple is going to go to Moonrabbit. So we're going to have plenty of other chances to cast Moonrabbit. And since you're already going to have a lot of yellow falling down on the board, just like this right here, you got a bunch of blue and you got a bunch of yellow. Boom, we can cast Moonrabbit again. And make sure you get all these 4 matches so that you're increasing your magic. Now my magic is up to 61 and it's going to be multiplied by yellow. It's pretty powerful. So then we can cast the Finesse again, take those guys out. I could cast Moonrabbit, but we don't have any connections with blue, so we'll just cast Gorgotha. And my Dawnbringer is up once again. We'll just cast that and finish them off. So Moonrabbit works really well. It does. You know, don't short that one out. Sometimes you might want to use that even if you do have the Possessed King. But so yeah, that's another good team. And then I got 3 more still to go. So here's an Assassin Dawn team, and guess what? It's pretty much the same setup as the one we did for the Lyrasza. So we're using the Guardian Troop at the top, and then instead of using the Sunspear class, we're using the Assassin because Treachery is Naga, and it's going to give all Naga allies 4 skills. And since the Assassin class is a Naga, you can see it right down here at the bottom of the card, that will be giving this troop all that extra magic. Leprechaun for explosion, and we have Lyrasza here once again with the Madness Storm. So this team works pretty good too. And those Guardian troops, all of them have 50% damage reduction from skulls. So that's why that's good in the front spot. And you're going to get a little extra protection from the Dawnbringer once it casts, and you get barrier on everything. Explode the board, and we didn't get so lucky with our extra matches with blue and purple there, but we're getting plenty of blue and purple on the board here, so that's good. We'll go ahead and cast this, get that barrier going. Oh, he's got a little bit of a mana generator himself. That's okay. Explode this. Boom. Look at all that blue and purple. Alright, now we'll cast this. Let's go ahead and cast Lyrasza and see what happens here. A little bit of explosion, but that was good because it almost filled up our Dawnbringer again. And we can use that. Take out a couple of troops. Use our Leprechaun once again. I just love having those active storms like that. It fills up your troops so fast. Makes it so fun. Alright, so that's the Assassin, Dawnbringer, Guardian team. It's pretty fun. Alright, so the last 2 here have to do with Wild Folk and the Bard class. And now there is different team setups you can use with the Wild Folk. This is just one that I did. And I'm sure there is other good troops in the Wild Folk Kingdom. But I chose these because of a couple of reasons here. Sledgepaw is going to act as kind of our tank, as well as a mana generator, because it's going to destroy a 5x5 block of gems. It's going to curse and stun the first enemy, which is really great because when we stun them, we can do more. We can do the skull damage to them without having to deal with that skull damage reduction. As well as it does have a little bit of reduction from skull damage mitigation here, 25%. And then it will recover 6 life at the start of each turn. So that's pretty good. And it's all of this stuff is going to start with half mana because we have King Silenus here, who's going to make all wild folk start with 50% mana. As well as Luna down here is going to inflict 1 to 2 status effects on all enemies, or it will grant 1 to 2 status effects on all allies. Another thing it will be doing is it will be exploding a random gem when matching yellow gems. Luna is kind of like the legendary version of the Possessed King. So every time you match a yellow gem, it's going to give you a little bit of an explosion. So that's good. damage to all enemies. We're going to be doing some damage there too. And then we have Dawnbringer. Now, the great thing about the Bard class is that all yellow allies are going to gain 1 to all stats on the start of each turn. So Dawnbringer uses yellow. It's going to be increasing its own magic, and it will be increasing the magic and all stats. So attack, armor, life, all of that on all of them. Plus, it is a complete Wild Folk team, so we're going to be getting the Wild Folk team bonuses here. So we're going to get a little bit of a bonus from the because they're all 3 of them are Pan's Veil troops, and we're going to be getting a bonus here as well. Lots of extra life, lots of extra armor, and all that good stuff. Plus, they're all yellow, so we're going to gain extra armor for that. So lots and lots of good stats with this team. So we'll go in and use this. Alright, so we do have a skull here. I probably should take that first. And then let's take some yellow. Dawnbringer is already powered up, and that's one thing. I have my Bard class at level 100, so I do have the Tree of Knowledge selected at level 70, so whenever I match a green gem, it's going to enchant my weapon. So that's really cool feature. But this is great mana generator. This Sledgepaw, you can get him in the dark pits down in the underworld. Great mana generator and kind of a very useful disruptor as far as like stunning the first enemy. As you can see over here, it just stunned him and it cursed him. Alright, now if only I had some yellow to match, we could get a few explosions going on here. We're going to match a green gem and enchant that. We'll cast Luna here. And every single turn that's been going on, Luna's been getting extra magic. So it started out at 29, it gained 10 magic already. It's a lot. And bam, it silenced those guys. Wow. So let's get a 4 match here. We can pull this purple right up here, and we're going to drop that down. And we're going to get ourselves a nice extra turn on that yellow. Dawnbringer's full. Boom. So that's a pretty cool team as well to use with Dawnbringer. Nice Wild Folk team. Alright, now moving on to our last one. It is using Bard class, and I call it the Max Stats Dawn. Simply because we are using, and again, this is kind of mythic intense, but we're using Champion of Gaard in the first place we're going to give 1 to all stats for red, and that is Dawnbringer. Champion of Anu is going to give 1 to all stats for blue allies. Dawnbringer has blue. And my Dawnbringer is using the Wild Folk, the Bard class, which is going to give all yellow stats 1. So what's going to happen with this team is that the Dawnbringer is going to gain 3 to all stats every single turn, which means within just a handful of turns, this 33 magic here is going to turn into 40, 50, you know, it's going to get pretty high. And we have the Thrall in here for our mana generation. So, you know, that's, and, well, of course, Champion of Gaard is going to be generating mana as well. But, should be fun. We already got a nice 5 match of yellow there. We can take a purple, and look at that. Champion of Gaard is already powered up. We're going to do that. Everything's getting full here. Right away, let's go ahead and cast that. So as you can see, now it's 45. Let's keep an eye on that. We can cast this again. And Dawnbringer is fully powered up once again. So it was 45, now it is 48. And that should increase. We haven't even cast, here we go. Now we can cast Thrall. So you do have situations like this where the gems just don't quite line up on the board when you cast Champion of Gaard. So that's why I like to have the Thrall there. The mana is not blocked, he's just purple. And then you can get everything kind of going again. So now we're at 59 damage. Boom, and then they're all dead. So yeah, that's pretty much all my Dawnbringer teams for now. I'm sure that there's a lot of other combinations that you can use with Dawnbringer. And hey, you know, why not share yours in the comments section on this video, you know? If you feel comfortable doing that, you know, I'm always happy to see other teams and other ways that we can have fun in this game. So if you have a really awesome Dawnbringer team that I didn't show off here, you know, feel free to post that in the comment section below on this video. And thanks for watching, guys. I will post these teams in the description below, and so you can copy those or look at the teams for reference. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.